everyone, I'm going to do a quick demo on how to submit the application for the Post Baccalaureate Certificate in Special Education. So to find the proper links, just go to the Post Baccalaureate Certificate website and go down to how to apply. And this will be for the UH system application. So there's two different applications. You need to submit both of them prior to the deadline, but the demo for this one is going to be for the UH Manoa system application. So go down here and then click on the link underneath the video, and it'll take you to this. So the UH system application is broken into three parts. The first part is just your personal information, followed by the program information you're applying to, and then just confirmation of everything at the end. What you'll notice in the right side is it's called the transfer web application. Don't worry so much about the word transfer. This is the correct application for anyone who's applying to one of our post-baccalaureate certificates in education. So the first part is just your personal information. A lot of this is pretty standard. It's going to be asking for your name, your mailing address, things like that. But there's two things that I do want to point out. So the first one is if you've ever had transcripts or records or anything under a previous name, you'll want to click on yes here, and it'll drop down these boxes where you can write in the other names that you've had. The reason this is important is because let's say you order official transcripts and they arrive, they're not going to know which application to associate them with if they're under a different name. So here's where you can put that so that they can make sure that it goes into the right place. The other part of this section that I do want to point out is down here, there's a section called Your Family. You don't need to fill out this. This is basically more for undergraduate students where they like to send out information to their parents about the university. In terms of the post-bac certificate, this is not needed. So even though it doesn't say optional, it is. You don't need to fill any of this out. So just leave it blank. And then so other background information, and then you're done. So the next part will move you into your academics. So the post-bac certificate in special education only enrolls in the fall. So when you have the drop-down menu, just make sure you're clicking on the upcoming fall semester. In terms of transferring credits, this is the transfer application, but for the post-baccalaureate certificate, you're not transferring in any courses. So just leave it blank. You don't need to put anything in here. You have a bachelor's degree and that's all they need to know. And then when you go to your planned course of study, make sure it's all in alphabetical order. So just go down to the post-baccalaureate certificate in special education. We do offer 3 different certificate programs. One is for general education elementary, one is for general education secondary, and then we have our special education program, which allows you to choose the licensure level that you're interested in, as well if you want to specialize in mild, moderate disabilities or severe disabilities and autism. So this is the program that you're going to want to pick, regardless if it's elementary or secondary or early childhood. So just click Post-Baccalaureate Certificate in Special Education. If you are not currently living in Hawaii and you're from one of the Western exchange states such as California or Arizona, Utah, things like that, you can click here to see if your state qualifies. And if you can get a reduced tuition rate. So that's just for those who don't live in Hawaii. You can see if you fall under that. And then in terms of your college information, what's nice is they have a new policy where you only need to submit your undergrad transcript now. You don't need to send all of the transcripts you've ever had. So just wherever you got your bachelor's degree, that's the one that they're going to be looking for. So go ahead and put in your school information. What's nice is this is actually a search bar. So you can just start typing in your institution and it should pop up information automatically. Then you just have to say when you went there, what type of institution, your degree, how many credits. So if you have unofficial transcripts that you can access, then all of that information should be up there. If you have attended more than one institution, you can add them here, but just know in terms of transcripts, you're only going to need to submit the ones for your undergrad, your bachelor's degree. If you have a set of unofficial transcripts on hand, go ahead and upload them directly. This will just help in speeding up the process of them reviewing your application, but just know you can't actually be formally admitted and start the program until your official ones have been received. So if you ever attended an institution, if you got your undergraduate degree from an institution outside of the UH system, then you'll definitely need to also send in your official transcripts, which means it has to come directly from the institution itself. Even if you have sealed transcripts on hand and you mail it in, they're not going to count it as official. So just hold those for yourself for other purposes and go directly to your institution and request your official transcripts. You don't need to do this if you're from a UH system school, meaning UH Manoa, UH Hilo, UH West Oahu. Those ones we already have on hand, so you wouldn't need to send those in. Don't worry about any kinds of test scores. You do not need to worry about the SAT or the SAT. Now, if you graduated and you got your bachelor's degree from a country where English is not the language used, then it's likely you will need to submit an English proficiency test. If you have any questions about that, please contact me at spedinfo@hawaii.edu. And then once you've completed all that information, you'll be on the final step where they're going to verify your residency status, whether or not you qualify for any exemptions. And then this is just to say that everything's correct. And what's nice is they will give you the option to, well, I have stuff missing, but once you move forward, they're going to give you the option to download a copy of your application. And you'll also be given an option to go ahead and pay the $70 application fee using a credit card. And then they'll email you kind of like a receipt or a confirmation. It is $70. It is non-refundable. So just make sure that everything is kind of set up and it's the right program for you before submitting that. If you have any other questions or you need any help, please feel free to email me at spedinfo@hawaii.edu.